My favorite thing about Shipt since I signed up for Target Circle 360? No price markups when I order same-day delivery from tons of local stores. Only a handful of alcohol retailers and items don't count. I won't lie, I've had too much fun being like, markups on groceries? Not in my fridge. Markups on pet food? Not for my DOG. Markups on tools, electronics, home goods, meds? Not in my house. Anyway, it's awesome. Order now at shipt.com/360. Terms apply.
Meta AI is the personal AI to help you with whatever you need. Plus, it meets you where you are. Not only is Meta AI now an app, but it's also on the apps you already know and love. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Plus the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It's easy to access wherever you are. So whether you're talking or texting, Meta AI is convenient to use throughout your day. Experience our newest AI that's tailored to you by downloading the Meta AI app. Try the Meta AI app today on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Oh my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? Well, check this out. It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic famous foods from restaurants across the country anywhere nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. Seriously. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
Welcome back to another episode of The Reality Is. As always, it's Noor, and I'm riding solo today. I haven't done a solo episode in a while, but I wanted to just talk about everything that's been going on Bravo. I wanted to make sure I do a recap of all the things that I've been watching because I've been having such a good time. And I am going to be doing an episode tomorrow to talk about Love Island separately because it's been a crazy good time watching Love Island. And I know that that's not a show that everybody's watching, but I can't stress this enough. During a time when the world is topsy-turvy, Love Island really is a great way to disassociate. And obviously that doesn't mean that we disconnect with the reality of the world or that we stop paying attention to the things that are important and focus on ways to better ourselves and our communities. But sometimes a bitch just needs to turn off her fucking brain. And Love Island is just so good. And not only is Love Island great, the content that is coming out alongside with Love Island is hilarious. If you're on Threads during a Love Island night, guys, it's just, it sounds ridiculous. It feels like it feels like community. And so it's just really fun. It's really easy. It's really breezy. The podcasts are really good. Raven, Bitch is Better, is incredible. She does nightly episodes. Kendrick does I think episodes twice a week. Zell of Who Asked Me podcast does content on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and she does her podcast, and she's listening to all of the interviews that every single person who gets dumped off the show, they'll do 15,000 podcasts and interviews. She'll listen to those and then she'll recap it on Threads. It's just such a fun time. So I have been wanting to kiki with friends more on podcasts with Love Island because Bravo's amazing right now too. I mean, Atlanta is great. Miami is insane. The Valley is Also insane in a not so positive way. Next Gen NYC is truly incredible. So like I'm actually having a really good time watching Bravo, but when it comes to like laughing with a friend, sometimes Love Island has to take that time up for me. So anyway, all that to say that I'm going to be doing an episode of Love Island. It's going to drop tomorrow night, and it'll be a full recap of everything that happened this week during Casa Amor. But today I'm going to talk about Atlanta, Miami, the Valley, and Next Gen NYC. It's going to be a little mini baby episode. As you can tell by my voice, I have been under the weather, but I wanted to still put this content out because I'm trying to get a little bit more consistent with creating content. Oh God, I hated the way I said that. Creating content. I should go fuck myself. Also, if you do want to hear me giggle about Housewives or Bravo stuff, I did YouTube Live with Tom Hamlet, of course, basically honorary co-host of this podcast. And so go check that out. That's on YouTube. That's on the Dumpster Dive YouTube. It's also going to be released on the Dumpster Dive podcast feed. So go check that out. We talked about Miami and a little bit of the Valley and Next Gen NYC. So anyway, with all that being said, let me take a sip of water and then let's talk about Atlanta. Okay. So Atlanta this week, Kelly did this event with William Sonoma, and she did like a cook-off with Charles Oakley. They did a little chicken and waffles cook-off, and she invited only a few people to that event, right? She invited Angela, Phaedra, Shamia, and no, she didn't invite Shamia. I think Shamia was busy with her kids or something. So I think it was Phaedra, Cynthia. Was Cynthia there? Honestly, I can't remember who was there. What I do know is that Phaedra was present and Drew was present, okay? And Angela, of course, because she was there with Charles Oakley. I think it was just Phaedra, Drew, and Angela that were present at this event. So they had this little cook-off, whatever. The thing that was crazy about this is that like Phaedra is still doing her Phaedra Parks bullshit, which is some man comes up to Angela on the side and is like, I have something to talk to you about. I know where Charles goes and he's cheating on you and da-da-da-da. And we're later going to find out that apparently that man was, it was a scheme set up by Todd to whatever, catch you with the bullshit or whatever it is that Candy's aunt says. But it was a scheme set up by Phaedra. Like, why? This is so unnecessary. Like, I kind of wanted to be like, Bravo, like, this is why you brought her back, so she can trick people into outing people again. Like, girl, you got fired from the show for the same reason. What are you doing? It's just so weird. It's so unnecessary. Like, leave Angela and Charles Oakley alone. Guys, you've hazed her enough. Leave her alone. Anyway, besides that, Phaedra, I do have to give her props where props are due. Her children, Dylan and Aiden. Oh my God. Every time those kids come up on TV, I get emotional. One, because I have a son named Aiden. And two, we literally saw these babies born. We've known these kids since Phaedra has been lying about their due date, okay? That's how long we've known these children, okay? Since they were in utero and their parents were sexily eating pickles off of each other's faces, okay? Deep throat and pickles together. That's how long we've known these kids. And now they're making pants. They're making custom pants. You guys, I have to give credit where credit is due. Those kids are adorable and they're amazing and they seem so sweet and so cute. And I love the way that Phaedra supports them. And I love the way that she has so many side businesses. And I love the way she's encouraging entrepreneurship. It is so good. It's just so cute. Okay. Then she has an event at the vault and they're featured. Like, come on. I want to buy those pants. Make me a pair of pants. Pants by Dylan. Yes, please. Oh, speaking of pants, I also got to co-host this week. Kea from Bravo We're Black. I got to co-host an interview with her. We interviewed Emerald from Summer House. And I'm bringing up pants because Emerald's apparently designing and selling pants too. Are pants the new like hair extensions? Are pants the new wines by wives? Like, everybody's making pants. Anyway, Go check out that interview. That was really good too. And if you want to hear the full interview, subscribe to Bravo We're Black's Patreon, because we had to cut out a lot of stuff that we talked about on the main episode just because I think they got a little too controversial when it comes to politics, which obviously I don't shy away from here because I am an independent endeavor. But if you want to listen to that interview, the full interview, go to the Patreon. If you want to listen to the public interview, it's also really good. It's on everywhere you can listen to Bravo or Black. Anyway, going back to Atlanta, she had this event, okay? And at this event is where Kelly and Britt got into it. So earlier in the episode, we saw Britt having I think she had Cynthia and, this is where she had Cynthia and Portia over just to talk shit. And this is where she throws Shamia under the bus. She hates everybody. We find out there's something going on with the glam squad, whatever. Look, I don't know what the beef is. Do I think it's weird that, Britt, that Kelly's being so cagey and gatekeepy about all of the stuff that, Britt wants to do? I mean, I don't think it's great because I'm I'm the opposite of gatekeeping, where if I'm doing something, I want everybody to do it. I am a pusher. I'm a pusher of things. If I use a scent or I use a hair product or something, or, lashes, anything, I'm always telling people about it because I think that I just want everybody to be having as great a time as I am. So I'm the opposite of a gatekeeper. I'm a gate opener. I'm a gate breaker. I am the fence. Sorry, I thought about Karen Huger. Do you ever think about Karen Huger, guys? Sometimes I catch myself thinking about her. I wonder how she's doing, how she's holding up. Is she still in the clanker? What's going on? Isn't it crazy that Karen was in the clanker while Ashley and Giselle were in Mexico at some stupid hotel pretending to date white men? As the world twirls, I mean, what are you going to do? Anyway, at this party, Britt and Kelly have it. Kelly calls Britt a pill popper because the people can sense that there's some beef. I think somebody asked, Phaedra asked Kelly what's going on. Kelly says, why don't you ask your pill popper roommate? She's talking about Britt. And Britt pulls a Reza on Kelly. And she says something about her abortions. Now, excuse me, you better watch your fucking mouth, Britt. Britt is such a loser, you guys. Didn't show up to the reunion, suing Bravo, and now apparently there's no lawsuit. She dropped it. She's a fucking loser. Okay, I never ever want to hear about this lady ever again. She sucks. But one of the things that cracked me up was, it didn't crack me up, it was also sad. Phaedra made a comment about oh child, I don't know, that's not allowed where I come from. Meaning they live in Georgia, so they can't even talk about abortions. Oh God, dark stuff. But apparently this is not the finale. I thought it was the finale, but apparently the finale is this weekend, and then we're gonna get 3 reunions. I don't know if this season needed 3 reunions, you guys. Phaedra's on interviews right now, doing the circuit, saying that, it was another explosive interview. I don't believe it. Was it explosive? I don't know. I'll have to see it to believe it, but I think it was probably just fine. I don't know. But it was, I don't know what to think about Atlanta, because I was having a lot of fun watching them over the season. I really did enjoy it. I thought that after the Kenya thing, they still picked back up really nicely. I was having a lot of fun. I even had fun watching Phaedra on vacation with them. She was making me lol. But if she's going to be paying people to start shit with Charles and Angela, leave that lady alone. Leave her alone. And this Britt causing friction between Portia and Shamia, that better not be the reason why Portia and Shamia are fighting. Over Britt? Loser Britt's words? Please. Please. Anyway, my point is 3 episodes of a reunion. I don't believe it. Anyway, we got to talk about Miami. Miami was incredible. This episode of Miami was called Worst Wedding Ever. It's Marisol finally, she became an honest woman with Steve. What does she call him? Her boobie? She calls him her boobie. She loves that man and he loves her. And, you know, in the beginning when we met him, I was like, oh, brother, another one. But guys, she loves that man. And I thought that confessional of her explaining why she finally like legally got married to Steve was really lovely. And it's honestly something that like, unfortunately, as women in a country that is becoming massively worse for women every single day, I think that it's something that we do need to think about. Marisol says, you know, as I get older, I don't have children. I don't have anybody to take care of me. And I do have to think about like who is going to advocate for me. If I get sick, if we have a health situation, we want to be able to be there for each other. And in a state like Florida, I think you have to be married to do that. Like I know in New York, you can do other things to like get on each other's like insurance. But I know that in Florida, that's definitely not a thing. You have to be like legally married. So the fact that they like rode off on their little motorcycle into the courthouse, we got the little Mama Elsa pop-ups. It was so sweet. I hate to say it. It made me a little emotional even. Okay. But later on, Alexia throws a little surprise party for Marisol. And it's really lovely. It's really nice. But the big thing this episode is obviously this heated situation between Julia and Gertie, which ends with Julia throwing a drink on Gertie. And what I found really bizarre about this, of course, needless to say, like, I can't believe I need to say this out loud. Obviously, Team Gertie. Julia's a fucking weirdo. Here's what happens. So Julia tells Adriana that the reason why things are weird between Gertie and her is because there was some sort of cruise that Gertie invited herself onto. This was one of those like stupid ass housewives cruise that like we had been making fun of for the last year. And Gertie was invited to one, got off of. So Julia says Gertie weaseled her way onto basically this cruise because Martina couldn't make it. And then the entire time, rather than being a gracious guest or a +1 for Julia, Gertie ended up making it all by herself. And when Gertie couldn't attend one of the events, she got really, really, really pissed off. And she felt like Gertie wasn't really there for Julia, but instead was there to make connections and like, you know, do clout. And here's the thing, Julia, shut the fuck up, number one. But number two, we find out from Gertie that this is one of these trips where she and Russell had already been on this boat. Now they had another set of like Bravo people going on the same boat for another cruise. It's like some sort of a celebrity cruise. I'm sure they like con people into paying thousands more dollars to go to one of these fucking cruises. I think there was one with like Dolores and Margaret and whatever. But anyway, Gertie's story is that Julia calls her distraught, crying, saying Martina is having some sort of a medical issue. I don't know what to do. So Gertie's like, well, would it make you feel better if like I went with you? I was just there, but like, I guess I can go with you if you want. And Julia's like, Gertie says Julia insisted that, you know, Gertie come with her. And that's the only part of the story where I thought to myself, I can hear Gertie being like, Julia, should I come? Like, do you want me to come? And Julia being like, okay, yeah. So that is the only thing where I could imagine Julia says, I never invited her. Gertie insisted herself, versus Gertie being like, you're calling me hysterically and you're not. And I'm a solution-driven person. I'm a problem solver and I gave you a way to solve a problem and I offered myself. Like, that's the only thing I can see. Maybe there was a disconnect, but the rest of it where Julia's like, oh, Gertie didn't get into an event with Captain Sandy and she was pissed. But Gertie says, I'm part of the fucking Bravo universe. I'm a member of Bravo. Like, I'm a housewife. I should be able to go into any event, even if I'm not Martina Navratilova. That doesn't make any sense, right? So I can totally see why Gertie would be like irritated, because she's like, I'm employed for these people, you know, like I work for the company. But Julia, while Gertie is explaining this, Julia loses her shit, calls Gertie a psychopath, calls her a fucking liar, throws a drink at her. And this is where I think that there's sometimes like a disagreement about how we as people of color should move in the world. And I'm not going to try to speak on behalf of Black women because I'm not a Black woman, but I can speak on it on behalf of myself as a person of color. You'll tend to be in a room with a bunch of white people or anybody, right? And you're the only person of your race there. And you're accosted like Gertie was. And oftentimes the intent is to embarrass you to the point where you leave. And I think that's what Julia was trying to get to do with Gertie. And, you know, Kiki was like, Gertie, we should go. Like, we shouldn't be here. And I understand Gertie's point being like, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm also on the clock. I work here. She's looking at production like, what the fuck is anybody doing? Marisol, Alexia, Larsa, they're just fucking sitting there. And like, they say, oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. But like, they're not telling Julia to leave. They're not telling Julia this is like unacceptable. Everybody's dragging Gertie out of there as if Gertie's the person that did anything wrong. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. Julia, even before Gertie gets there or says anything, is acting like a fucking weirdo. She is weird. She is a weirdo. And the whole thing of Kiki being like, oh, well, they all think that you do too much. Here's the bottom line, guys. Gertie in these people's eyes is not their level, because Gertie at the end of the day was Alexia's party organizer, right? Like, she was Alexia's wedding planner. She was an event organizer. Like, she is you know, in their mind, she is a vendor. She's not a person that gets to have a seat at the table, because in the past, they probably viewed her as a person who is like working for them. So I think that they're always going to view Gertie that way, which is really fucked up, mind you. Like, I don't agree with that. But in the past, they used to have Nicole as sort of like, okay, well, Nicole is rich. And so she's friends with Gertie. So now we have to give Gertie some respect. But now without Nicole there, I think that they don't really have a space for Gertie. And it's fucked up, because I think I've always felt like Alexia has felt that way about Gertie. Like, since Gertie joined the cast, I think Alexia always felt like, oh, well, you know, that's how Alexia talks. Oh, well, you know, Todd. Anyway, so stupid. Oh, well, you know, Todd, I still love him. That bitch. I can't. They're like, oh, those earrings are so nice. I'm digressing. There's like a scene where Alexia has beautiful earrings. She's like, oh, Todd got me these. And they're like, oh, Todd has great taste. You just see Alexia disassociating for a second. Oh, God, that lady. Anyway, my point is that they're going to treat Gertie really poorly. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't appreciate it. I am looking forward to this new lady joining, who is apparently Anthony's ex, Nicole's fiance. Did they get married? Nicole's fiance / baby daddy's ex-girlfriend or ex-wife is now joining the show. And the understanding is that that woman has a great relationship with Nicole, so I don't think there's any beef there. But I do think that what's funny is that she's being introduced through Larsa as Larsa's friend. And as you'll remember, Larsa and Nicole like hated each other. So again, I think it's one of those situations where like these girls are such elitist, like in a way that is like classic housewives, but also in a way that makes no sense, because it's like, well, Alexia, you just own nail salons. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what you do. You own nail salons, which is, by the way, not like a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, you own nail salons. Okay, Larsa, you were married to Scottie Pippen. Like, what do you have an OnlyFans empire? Like, which, you know, go off, sex work is work, but like, let's not act like anybody is above somebody like Nicole, a whole ass fucking medical doctor, or Gertie, who's like made an entire business empire for herself in a city like Miami that probably throws insane parties. You know what I mean? But like, I hope the rest of the season we don't have to deal with like Julia somehow being like the victim and Gertie's shit. If I don't see a change, I'm going to fucking rake these women over the coals. Okay. They're going to get bullied by me on the internet. Not that it matters. They're not like, they're all too old to understand how social media works anyway. So it's not the same. It's not the same as like when we bully the people on Love Island and then they have to post a disclaimer being like, please stop bullying the people on Love Island. I'm not bullying anybody. Okay. I just want to say it's not we as in me. It's like we as in, you know, the audience. But anyway, that was Miami. And then the Valley. Oh, brother. On the Valley this season, we had a couple of things. We had a weird ass men's rights meeting. Okay. Guys, when I tell you men will anything but go to therapy or just kiss each other. This whole thing where this man showed up and then the men touched each other's chests and then stared into each other's eyes. Please. Okay. Just put your hands on each other's dicks, open up your mouths, and kiss each other, okay? Because I know that's what you really want to do, okay? All this weird stuff. I saw this thing that said, like, men who are so, like, misogynists who are like alpha bros, they don't actually like women. They actually hate women because women get to be with men, and what they really want is to be with other men. And I could not agree with that more. Okay, that little weirdo man meeting, like, Jessie Lally, get the fuck out of here. Did you see Shishu? Shishu's like, there's nobody worse in the world than Jessie Lally. And I was like, hell yeah, Shishu, go off, girl. Now, what's confusing is in the after show, Zach and Jasmine both were like, Jessie's a sweetheart. Excuse me? What? That demon? You're saying that demon is a sweetheart? I don't understand. I don't understand the loyalties. Also, Janet, like, okay, guys, insider information. I do know people who know Janet in real life. And they said that in real life, Janet is a delight. A delight. And I was like, are you sure about that? And this is, she's actually a great person. She's just making the mistake that new people who get on reality TV make, which is she's overproducing. And she is trying to do too much, and it's not working for her. And she's done it now for 2 seasons, and it looks really bad because this bitch gets drunk and yells at everybody at El Coyote, which, by the way, I've been to El Coyote. It's delicious. Everybody should go there. Shout out to amazing Mexican food in California. But they have this meeting. The man's rights meeting was fucking bullshit. Jax squeezes his eyes and gets no tears out. Then he goes immediately to the bars, gets fucked up. Brittany's like, fuck you, I'm not meeting with you. They had some sort of like a sporting event this episode too. I don't know what that was about. And then they had that meeting with a girls' night where everybody just started yelling at Kristen for no reason at all. It didn't make any sense. Janet keeps saying like, oh, I'm mad at Kristen for defending Nia and Danny by deflecting and then talking about Jason and his ring. But like, she also says that she's like, oh, I got mad at Kristen, but it wasn't Kristen. Kristen was just like doing Nia's dirty work. But in the past, she's been like, why are Danny and Nia so upset? It's obviously because the mastermind is Kristen. Relax. No, girl, you're too late. You should have joined Vanderpump Rules when you really, really wanted to, okay? Because then you could have done all this shit and played on the crazy Kristen thing. Kristen's not crazy. She's, I'd argue, lovely this season. So it's not working. But they all go to Hawaii. And now Luke is going to propose to Kristen, which is very exciting. But before we get to that, we got some unnecessary cliffhanger, I have to say, of like a showdown between Jessie Lally and Aaron. Big-eyed Aaron. You know how we have like big dick Aaron? Danny Pellegrino calls Denise Richards' husband Big Dick Aaron. Michelle Lally's boyfriend is Big Eyes Aaron. Bug-eyed Aaron. Bug-eyed Aaron and Jessie Lally have a showdown. A showdown that I'd say nobody cares about. Jessie, I don't give a fuck if she cheated on you, brother. I don't care. It does not matter to me. I hope she does. And I hope she did. And I hope she continues to. I hope that it haunts you for the rest of your life. You kind of suck. Okay? If you guys don't know how much she sucks, go and watch. There's like, you don't have to watch the interview because I don't really care about that podcaster. But there's an interview that he did with a podcaster where he's talking about controlling whether or not his wife got epidural. Excuse me? He wanted to make sure that she didn't go. He wanted to make it where she didn't go to a hospital and had a home birth because he didn't want any drug intervention. That man is coked out of his mind all the time. You're talking about not letting your wife who's in labor giving birth to a baby. You don't want her to go to a hospital because you don't want medical intervention. Get the fuck out of here. No wonder you're dating a flat earther, you fucking weirdo. Fuck you, Jessie Lally. Anyway, it was an unnecessary cliffhanger. I was like, okay, let's just get on with it. What are we getting, like 2 more episodes of this show? It's so dark. Katie and Stassi were talking about it. I didn't listen to the podcast, but apparently they were talking about it and they were saying it's actually too dark to watch. And I can understand if you know those people in real life, that show being way too dark to watch. But I think that the thing is that it's also a realization to those people that the people that they know in real life are too dark to know. So I think that's really what it is. Okay, let's quickly talk about Next Gen NYC, my favorite show right now. A breath of fresh, if you will. So amazing. We're seeing people roll joints and potentially sell weed. This Charlie character. Charlie is, there's a listener on Dumpster Dive that her name is Rachel, and she was so funny on the live the other day. She called Jax deli ham.
Grit is in you. It's in your passion, your perseverance. It's in every challenge you face and overcome. Grit is in you. It's never in rockin' protein. Never settle.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
The rural way of life is about making everyone feel at home. Tractor Supply chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform intelligent customer service. Together, we put the power of AI to work across 2,200 stores, keeping things running seamlessly inside, curbside, and countryside. This is elevated customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Imagine this. The best pasta sauce you have ever tasted sits abandoned on a plate. Wasted sauce. That is a tragedy. If only you had used Barilla al Bronzo pasta. Its bronze-cut texture holds your sauce and scoops up every last drop. The Italians call that scarpetta. Capture sauce the Italian way. Barilla al Bronzo. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
And she said that Charlie was in the deli ham family. Is it Charlie would be like mortadella, like he'd be gabagool. You know what I mean? He would be like not just Jax is definitely like not even a Boar's Head ham. Jax is like the weird wet ham that you get at like on sale at the deli counter, whereas like Charlie could be like the good ham that you get, the good gabagool that you get in like the upper, you know, in Little Italy or whatever, or like the Upper West Side and like, or like in Westchester at some like nice Italian butcher. That's what Charlie is, but he's still a fucking piece of ham. Okay. These men are pigs. He's terrible. He's 30 years old. He's hanging out with a bunch of 22 to 24 year olds. Everybody's like, Charlie's so weird. Charlie's such a weirdo. We went to Charlie's dad's house where he just got like bullied by his dad. His dad's also a weirdo. His dad's like weirdly like asking the girls like, oh, am I as handsome as Charlie? You guys are both weird. Charlie says that his dad is like, you know, oh my God, I can't remember that. He's like the dad in Succession. Kendall. I keep wanting to call him Rachel Roy. He's not. Rachel Roy is Ava Dash's mom. Logan Roy, of course, L to the OG, duh. He keeps saying that his dad's like Logan Roy. I was like, I don't think so. I don't think your dad is like Logan Roy. I would say he's just a creep. He's just like another creep. I would say that he gives me more, unfortunately, Donald Trump than Logan Roy. You know what I mean? Like, you wish. But we met that. That was weird. Georgia, weirdo Georgia, who I can't express enough, is so Marnie Michaels coded from Girls. She's like a mishmash of like Marnie and Jessa from Girls. That's what she is. And she's very weird. She has a crypto boyfriend who she swears she's like dating a crypto guy is like not like dating finance guys. It's actually it's like the opposite of a finance guy, because crypto is like a disruptor. She's coming up with a cool concept bar club with her boyfriend Omar. I was like, Omar, are you Egyptian? Assalamu alaikum, brother. Anyway, she's talking to Omar. They're whiteboarding. It's hilarious. She's like, we got to do nostalgia. We got to go do cool stuff. We have to bring the fun. And you know what's nostalgic? Bowling with like cool drinks and clubs. You mean Lucky Strike? Are you talking about Lucky Strike or Bolero? Are you talking about a bowling alley that serves alcohol and has good food and good music? Yeah, babe, that exists. So stupid. I hate her, but I love her. She's such a weirdo. By the way, I found her Instagram and I was like, I don't know who this woman is on Instagram, but this is not the same woman that I'm watching on TV. She was completely different. Like completely different vibe. Like on this show, this girl's like not washing her hands, going to parties with a laptop because she doesn't have a cell phone, and combing her hair with a fork. Like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. She's so weird. She's a weirdo. She's a weirdo, but Charlie is so weird that Georgia seems a little bit more normal compared to Charlie, you know? What I also love about the show is that when they talk about mental health, these are people talking about mental health that have actually like gone to therapy and understand things. Like it is really nice to see young people have like empathy for each other, or them, you know, or like have, I don't know how to explain this. Like, so we had this really terrible interaction between Charlie and Riley in the previous episode where Charlie was super racist, microaggressive, really uncomfortably terrible, put Riley in a really terrible space, apologized to her, and then said, I didn't really mean it. It was fucking awful. He sucks. And then we saw this episode that he and Riley had a chat and he apologized to Riley. And Riley says, look, it was so mature. She said, at my big age of 21, I'm not into like drama and carrying grudges. If somebody says that they're sorry, like I'm okay to just like move on from it, you know? And it's interesting because she's like, we're not going to be best friends, but like if somebody's saying sorry to me, I'll accept it and then move on. But like these are people who understand how to like create boundaries for themselves. And I thought it was really lovely. Like it's actually really nice. I don't know. I just found it to be very refreshing. I was like, I think your parents did a good job. And you know, where you can see that somebody's parents did not do a good job, but she's still trying her best is Ariana, because like Ariana over here as well. Ava Dash says to Brooks that she's surprised that Ariana has a clothing line because she doesn't come off like a fashion girly. And Brooks goes and tells Ariana this. And Ariana says, where's Ava with the bitch attitude? And I was like, oh, I hope people understood that. I hope people understand what that callback is. Saying Ava with the bitch attitude is actually a callback to her mother, who is Becky with the good hair. I hope you guys pick that up. And I was like, ooh, Ariana knows. She's got her finger on the pulse. But also Ariana went and like got super drunk and was going to pick a fight with this girl, which I think is like very Kim Zolciak of her. But the way she sits down and she's like, I mean, I don't know why you would say that. Like, I don't know. It's just, there's something about Ariana that I find delightful. Is she delusional? Sure. The elevator pitch about her clothing, didn't understand it. Just say, girl, I just want to sell clothes so I can make money. It doesn't have to be amazing. You could just slap a label on shit. Sonia Morgan did it on toasters and we never even saw them. You can sell whatever the fuck you want, Ariana. Just say, I want to make money so that I can pay for things because my mom took all of my money. Like that could just be the thing, you know? I thought that it was great. It was lovely. I'll tell you what's not lovely is just like all these dads on the show. Dame Dash is, I'd argue, the most normal dad because he's like the one that sits with Ava and is like, why is Charlie treating you this way? What's his relationship with his mother? There's a lot of other stuff going on with Charlie. Like I was like, oh, that's really mature. Meanwhile, you have Seth Marks, who upon hearing that Charlie was talking about fucking his daughter, went and like had a weird sit down one-on-one conversation with Charlie and decided that he wants to mentor him. I was like, what is this, honey? Like weird. Seth Marks, you gotta go. You know when you watch Housewives shows and then you're like, I don't need to see these scenes with their dad, with their kids. I feel that way about Next Gen NYC. I don't need to see scenes with house husbands. I don't need to see that. The moms are great. I love catching a mom in the background. It's fun. But I don't need to see Seth Marks on my screen. It's very unnecessary. Anyway, that's it. That's my recap for this week with all the Bravo stuff, and then catch my episode tomorrow night with Amanda Hunt and Kiss to talk about Love Island this week, and hopefully I get my voice back. I'm going to take some Mucinex. Can I take Mucinex on an edible? I'm going to skip the edible tonight. I'm going to take a Mucinex. I'm going to get cozy in my bed, and I'm going to watch the last night of Casa Amor. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Bye.